Okay. Welcome back to Simon Says episode 2. So I hope all of you are safe at home with families, happy and probably fighting. So being with family is amazing, but it has its consequences, especially for parents who have children. So today's topic would be on that. With that, we will like to introduce the guest today. So which would you introduce, please?
Okay, so we have my sister-in-law, Mrs. Anupa Nyanakin Sundaram, who is not just a stay-at-home mom, she happens to work next door, works with schools, does a lot of stuff. And I'm sure this time must be challenging having her children and her husband and her pets at home. So I think to start off with the question, how is it different right now with the situation that we're going through? And what is the challenge to have kids at home and kind of balance work as well?
So I thought it would be worse, honestly speaking, because I'm really used to my own space from 7 in the morning till 5 in the evening. Danny, you were supposed to join us. And so I really thought it would be really, really bad. But it has been pleasantly, surprisingly, very, very nice. I don't know if that was the answer you were looking for, but it has been good. And I think in general, our kids and all of us, we like staying home a lot. So this lockdown hasn't been too much of a change. Yeah, what would you say?
Yeah, it's been unselfishly, if I have to say, then it's kind of been quite nice. But talking about space-wise, yeah, we are everybody there around. But it's been great so far. It's been 5 weeks. I think that's a long time. Since for us, everything kind of closed down a little earlier. Apart from the fact that we couldn't easily get basic supplies, I think at home it's all been quite positive.
I think the one thing I'm struggling with is trying to keep everyone to a routine. So we tried to make a schedule and we're sticking to it most of the time. But sometimes you sleep late or you wake up late, and because my brother and his family live upstairs, so the kids go up to meet their cousins sometimes. So everything goes a bit haywire. So that is the one thing that I'm struggling with, because I love routine and I love everybody to have a routine and stick to a routine. So when I see them not sticking to a routine, it drives me mad. He calls it selfish. He says that I'm being selfish because it's what I want. But no, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the kids right now, but he calls me selfish.
And
the question was, how have we been surviving? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So just for the viewers to kind of get a feel of what routine is like for Anupa, she wakes up at 4:35 in the morning, starts off the day all by herself with a cup of coffee. And the reason I know this is because when I'm staying over there, I am sometimes falling asleep at that time. So that's how I get to see it. And we're either gaming, playing some board games, and she's making coffee, and I know why my brother's laughing as well. So I'm sure it's routine. And it's amazing that you've taken this well and it's positive for you. You're having a good time. It seems like you're enjoying it.
Yes, like I said, I was really dreading it and a bit worried about how it would go, but it's been great.
Good. Kevin, have some comments to make? Anything special?
So out of curiosity, I think from everybody's side, how do you keep your kids occupied?
So we have Lego, we have books to read, we have, so we made a schedule. Do you want to share the schedule that we made?
We've tried making a few schedules, but before I even start with the schedule, I think they're very independent. They're not very demanding. They enjoy time on their own and time with us. Um, has there been times where it would have been nice to have more people over? Yes, definitely. But it doesn't take much for either of them to, say, be entertained or by themselves. And since we know we are going to be under lockdown for some time, to make the best use of this time, we decided to kind of come up with a schedule, which kept changing every second day, because sticking to a schedule is not easy.
But tell them
And
what
there are
all was in
five.
the schedule, like there's creative.
What the schedule was like, we tried to break it down into a time where they try and practice on or develop creativity, something for the body, something for some physical activities, exercises, something for the soul, or something spiritual. Sorry?
Yeah, spiritual, creative, physical, academic, and reading. Those are the 5 areas that we decided to focus on.
And screen time.
Oh, and screen time. Ruel is reminding us the most important, screen time.
So that was what we broke down the schedule into. Did we follow it strictly? No. It was more just a guide, so that we try and utilize our time to the best of our ability, and they utilize their time to the best of their ability. But it didn't seem too demanding or too stressful, if that answers your question.
They also keep busy by looking after my parents who are old. So they've been given that responsibility to check on them and help them do the dishes, because no maids are coming in. So little bits here and there. So actually they've been busy.
No boredom.
That's
or
awesome.
no complaint.
Nice. I'm sure for those parents who have it backwards, must be cursing you guys right now. Must be quite the challenge for all of them. But I'm sure they must have gotten some insight into it. Thanks a lot for sharing how it's going at home. It's nice.
So joining us is one more mother. She is from Kothunur. She's pretty scary sometimes. She always threatens to beat me up. But Preeti, if you can turn on your mic. Awesome. So this is Preeti. This is my sister-in-law's sister-in-law. She's a homemaker. She also homeschools her children. So Preeti, the same question that Suvish asked Anupa and Danny. Suvish, could you ask her the same thing?
So we were discussing how it could be difficult for those moms and parents that are now at home and have their children at home all the time. And I'm sure some of the parents are working. It must be different, it must be challenging, it must be new. So the question is, how is it different for you and how are you coping with it?
You know what, actually this lockdown didn't really change much for me because we homeschool. Other than the fact that my kids can't go out to play, and I get that free time when they go out to play, that's the only thing I really miss. But otherwise, we haven't finished school. So my school year goes from August to August. So I'm not done with school yet. So we've just continued with school. But the other new thing is we have Milind at home, that's my husband, which is kind of nice because when he's not working, he kind of takes over their school a little bit. But our school definitely has slowed down. Like we're not doing it as like with a strict schedule or anything. We're getting up late, where breakfast is late, so everything gets a little slower. But I feel like I really enjoy it because everyone's at home, and I just miss going out. Otherwise, I think it's fun.
Hi, Rashmi. Rashmi has audio issues.
Okay.
Okay, so introducing our next guest is Rashmi. She is my sister-in-law. She is more of a dictator to me than anything else. But she's still amazing, and she is a working mom, just like Anupa. And she right now works from home and looks after her kids. So, Rashmi, Sush has a question for you.
Sure.
Yeah, Rashmi, hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you how it's different now staying at home during this lockdown. What's it like having the children, your husband over all the time? And do you get your free time? Is it challenging? How are you coping?
Uh, it has been challenging. So usually I work from home about 2 days a week or 3 days a week, and the other days I go into work. So I guess the challenging thing is usually when I work from home, no one else is there. So it's quiet and I get to do a lot of work really quickly. So I was telling my husband what can take me 1 hour now takes me 3. So that's a bit challenging. But apart from that, I mean, I'm just enjoying having my husband around. His name is Lee. He's a coach, so he travels a lot. It's been a long time since we have had him around for so long. And he usually, even when he's in Bangalore, he coaches at night and things. So it's been an amazing time for all of us to be together. That's for sure. But challenging, yes.
So, Preeti and Rashmi, do you have like a schedule or a routine for the kids and your husband just to keep them occupied while, or you just don't have and you just wing it?
I had a routine in the beginning. So I set a timetable for the kids, but no one followed it. So it's loosely followed. And it's generally, I found that when they have some idea of what to expect, they kind of fall into a routine better. So generally we try to have them they have lots of free time till about 9. They can play, have breakfast, do all that, and then about 9 to 11 they do some kind of activity, science or something that they've studied, but we try to, they do an experiment or they maybe write something of their own or something like that, and then they again break to play. And so yeah, there's a rough schedule in place, more or less being followed. No schedule for the husband. He's just handling the whole home by himself, so I dare not give him a schedule. I'm just so grateful he's doing all the work.
Preeti, being a homeschooler, what kind of routine do you follow?
So the kids don't get up very early because we go to bed really late also. So probably everyone's up around 8, and then they have like a morning schedule where they have to probably do some dusting, and then they practice their keyboard, and then they sit with us, like we kind of do a devotion. Usually Milind does a devotion with them, and then my daughter's in the 6th grade, so she can start her school by herself. She's happy to do it, so she starts off on her own. But by the time I finish breakfast and get to my second second boy, he's in the 1st grade, so he'd be happy if I sit with him. So that takes some time. So by the time I sit down with him, it's around 10 or something like that. So then I sit with him, and then we do school together. So we do school till around, say, 12:30. Then it's lunchtime. Then in the afternoon, now because everyone's at home, we all have to take a nap. And then evening we wake up, and so we live in a colony, which I'm so grateful for. And not everybody comes out, but we venture out a little bit. The kids take the cycles and they cycle around a little bit, and then that's our routine for the day. Evening we're back here and dinner. But that's what I'm saying. Nothing much has changed for us. I just like that it's a little slower. Like we're not rushing, going. Like we don't have, like, say, church activities or anything else planned. So I'm scared. I don't know how we're going to get back to that regular routine.